Good morning, Academy 55 premium members and everybody else who is watching the recording. David Kahn here on Friday, the 10th of January. It is now 5 to 8 in the morning, looking at the EUR USD, primarily on the 1 minute time frame with our Academy 55 strategy and indicators. As you can see, we're on the 5 minute time frame. Price is about to get into a sell zone, but before that, we can quickly have a set up the charts, have a quick look at what the higher time frames. So if we go on the daily, we can see. Let's get rid of this bit of noise here. Bit of noise there. We can see an indecision candle, but it's been steadily going down the last 3 or 4 days. So we've got the indecision on the day so far. Let's go to the 4-hourly. Get rid of that bit of noise. And we can see a little bit of a pullback taking place on the 4-hourly. So will they want to be coming up to these levels here? Maybe tapping into this imbalance here eventually. All depends on the strength of the dollar. Dollar is at an all-time, not an all-time high, but the highest it's been for a couple of years now. So we go down to the hourly, and we can see a lot of sideways movement since, well, about 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon until about 4 o'clock this morning. Sideways movement, but now we are sort of maybe redressing the balance a little bit. Let's go on to the 4-hour, see if we can see any lines of interest. 2 or more lines will do it. And there's a line there, look. So we go and horizontal line. Oh, what a solid line. Settings. Solid line, sorry, there we go. So as you can see, we've had support there and resistance there, but that's about it for that much for the 4-hourly. Let's go down to the hourly. We'll just smooth that out a little bit and make it a little bit more accurate there. And I would say that's about it, really. So we go down to the 5 minute again. Put the candles back on. Now we know we're into a sell zone there, so we're in sell zone set territory. So we get horizontal ray. Put it there. I'm going to put one there also. Sell zone there. Might be heading up to that area or even beyond. And down to there. So now I go back down to the minute. Let's look, sorry, let's just look for areas of imbalance, if there is any. Well, this candle here on the 4-hourly is all in balance. So no, what am I talking about? Sorry, it's not. I do apologize. It's early in the morning for me. No, this is not in balance because we've got the wick there. So that candle is not in balance. So there's no. What about the hourly? No, that candle there has been mitigated by that wick there. So there's no immediate imbalance. It's all being driven by the strength or the weakness of the dollar. And But we are in sell zone territory now, so we'll put it down to the minute. Put our indicators back on. And we know we're in sell zone territory. So our next alert is a sell alert, and what about the 5 minute? Have we got any? Well, we got imbalance down here on the 5 minute. Will price go all the way down to this area within a time when we might want to be trading? What did it say? EURUSD floats quietly below 1.03 as Forex traders brace for key US job report. That'll be at 130. So I'm maybe anticipating not a lot of movement until they know or disseminate whether it's going to be good or bad news for the euro. They may have already done that, factored that in. We don't know. So we're waiting for the next sell alert. We're at 1 minute past 8 now. Make sure your risk to reward is in purple. Your lot calc is in purple. Your all important 1%. And I like to turn this little square on here so I can close all trades very, very easily, very, very quickly. There are other ways of doing that on MC4, but this is the quickest and easiest way. And this is what we're all about here at Academy 55, trying to find the most stress-free ways of trading. And thanks to the trade assistant, we don't even have to work out our lot size. Because it's all done for us. So we are waiting for a sell alert if it should appear. Right now we are around about where price likes to be, around the average, the 462, EMA 462, the purple line there. This is where price congregates and makes a decision whether to do it. In this case, it was a long-term sell. Now, are we changing from a sell to a buy situation? But all we want as traders on the 1 minute time frame, we essentially want between 6 and 10 pips for our take profit, and that is easily achievable within a minute time frame construct. If you're a longer term trader, your stop loss would be like 20. The average for an intraday trader means you're trading on the 4 hourly or the hourly, and the average size stop loss for them is a 10 pip stop loss, whereas we've got like anywhere between 2.2 and like 5 or 6 pips sometimes. Just up here, I noticed we've got the key zone area. Anything with 3 noughts at the end of it. Let's go back on trading view. Key zone area is just there, but we're in sell zone territory, so we're waiting for the next sell. Yesterday, something I wasn't aware of, we investigated yesterday afternoon. The US 100 was closed because the stock exchange closed as a manner of respect to Jimmy Carter. So the whole industry closed. It was quite phenomenal, really, because it's a billion or even $1 trillion industry, and as a mark of respect, the markets were closed for indices yesterday afternoon, which I've never encountered before. And all the MT4 and everything just froze. Let's see if it's frozen now. Probably not. No, didn't think it was. So we are holding treading water now in a sideways movement. Will it go? Do we have enough volume for another surge for the US dollar? And it will be a surge that will bring the EUR down to lower points down here again. Right, so as you can see, a sell did flip on and off very, very quickly. But we got to wait for all these indicators to turn red, volume, trend, and wave. This is where I would be wanting to put my stop loss just below that purple line there. In actual fact, I might just go a bit above because we got a double barrier there. Not only this in the wave, but also the purple line. So I might put my stop loss just where it is right now if we ever do carry on down. But we'll have to wait and see on that. There we go, there's a sell. We've already got a red volume ribbon. And if the price ends up down here, that will become a red wave. And hopefully the trend line will go red as well. The trend line in our indicator, in a lot of cases, is the last one to go red or change color. But sometimes, as we know, that indication of it changing can be vital. But depending on the volume, if there's a lot of volume around at that time when we make a trade, sometimes you have to anticipate. I anticipate it going red, but I have in the past made a little error and activated a sell, for example, in this situation, and that never went red at all. It just carried on going green, and indeed, price did shoot up and took me out of the trade. But at the time, it was all very a lot of volume had kicked in. And it was anticipatory on my part, and I paid the price. But a lot of the time, I do the same thing, and indeed the price did go down. So, and that's my mindset really, doing that. I accept I should be patient enough to wait. But we're all human at the end of the day, and because if you anticipate and you don't move, it's the fight or flight reflex in your mind. Similar sort of thing. If you're down here and you're anticipating it to go red, you're thinking to yourself, well, this is just going to carry on, carry on, carry on. And if I waver too much, next thing I know, the price is going to be down here, and it could have come to its natural conclusion or near it, the trade, and then I'm still sat here waiting for this to go red. Whereas, so it's a difficult call sometimes. But most of the time, I get it okay, get it right. And also, like I said to you many times, we accept a 1% loss as a matter of course if that's what's going to happen, and no problems with that at all. So effectively, we could be this sideways movement isn't a great movement because we're on the 1 minute time frame, and like you see on the 5 minute, it's been moving. But we could be very near a sell possibility. Time to draw her up on here. Short position. Minimum of 2.2 pips away. There. 2 to 1 down there. That's the sort of scenario we're looking for. Right, let's go back on to where the action is. Price is milling around the purple line. That's why it's there, to indicate a bias one way or the other. The price is going that way, so I'll keeping an eye on this. We're in sell zone territory, so we want to take the next sell. And in the meantime, I'm going to keep an eye on it. I'm going to show you this.
Hi, this is Steve, and in this short video I'm going to just show you the settings for the trade assistant to make sure that you've got the minimum 2 pip stop loss on the Euro USD or any currency pair, and how you set it for if you're trading a commodity like the US 100, because the settings are slightly different. So here you can see we're on the Euro USD chart here. I've got my risk to reward on the trade assistant locked at 2 to 1. I've got my risk balance at 1%. Lot calculator is on, and my little purple button here between the buy and sell is also activated. So we're ready to bring the trade assistant onto the chart. Now you'll notice here that we've got the stop loss set at 20. That indicates 2 pips when you're on a currency pair. And we can actually change that here by typing over it. So if I type in there 40 and just tab off here, you can see now we've got a stop loss of 4 pips because we're on a currency pair. In this example it's Euro USD, but it could be Euro GBP or any currency pair. So let's just put that back to 20 for our 2 pips. We'll click off here, and now we'll just put the lines on so that you can see that is showing us 2 pips over here on the actual tool, ready to actually get involved with a trade if that's what we were going to do. But that's not what we're here for now. I'm going to click off the lines here, and what we're going to do is we're going to change our chart from Euro USD to US 100. And I can do that by dragging it onto the screen here. You'll see it now switch over to US 100. And now you can see that stop loss says 20, and that's wrong for a commodity. So what we want to do here is come in here and type 2000. This is the equivalent of 2 pips on a commodity such as US 100. So now when I put the lines on, you'll see we've got the number 2000 here, and if I just zoom around, you'll notice the 2 to 1 still applies, 2000 and 4000 here, where we've got a $1,000 trade in place, risking $1,000 to win $2,000. So that's the number that you need to get your 2 pip minimum on. So the minimum number would be 2,000. You could have anything above that if you're on a commodity like US 100, and the number will be 20, which is 2 pips equivalent if you're on a currency pair such as Euro USD. Hopefully you found this useful, and thanks very much for watching.
Thank you, Steve. Great information as always. Excellent videos there. Just to put your mind at rest, I've been watching. We're going up if anything, still rising. We can't take a buy because the last alert was a buy, goes sell, buy. So the last alert was a buy. We know we're in sell zone territory anyway. We could be possibly going up to this other sell zone here, or even beyond that. Depends on the strength and the weakness of the dollar. But we're after the next sell. So we'll keep on looking at this. And now I'm gonna keep up my eye on it. Don't worry, I've got it on another monitor. Or we might actually go right now. No, there we go. So we'll go back to the MT4. And wait in our customary way, being patient, waiting for things to perhaps change. But in the meantime, like I said, I'll keep an eye on this and interrupt if I need to. But I've got a short, only 3-minute video of what happened yesterday morning. Okay, so for all those on my live this morning, this is what happened. We're on the 5-minute time frame, by the way. This is why it looks different. Let me just take that off a minute. There we go. Not confused. We were here. Took a buy on the 1 minute, and price went up to here, and because of, I thought overwhelmingly there was a sell sort of reaction, I decided to take my profit just about there at 0.4%. I was quite happy with that because the Parabolic stars came up, but as you know, is hindsight, I did the wrong thing because it went to go for the 2%. But after I say goodbye to you guys, we can see the sell zone up here, so I'll mark that up. Sorry, just let's get the horizontal ray, mark up the sell zone. That's where the sell zone is. So we go down to the minute time frame. There's the trade. I'll put my indicators on. Like I say, I took my money out there because we had a parabolic soft flip. Anyway, so this is where the sell zone is. So let's have a look. Price goes all the way up into the sell zone area. So we keep on going sideways for a little while, being very patient. And waiting for the next sell because we are in the sell zone area on the 5-minute time frame. We get a sell there, and just about I was nearly got me 2%. There, as you can see, it's confirmed, and that's all because of a red volume ribbon, red sell alert, which is important, red wave, everything's red, red, red. We were in the sell zone, which was there, and got my 2 to 1. So there, again, we haven't missed nothing. I was keeping a close eye on this. Incidentally, any trades taken by myself are for educational purposes only, but we haven't done anything. We are climbing. So let's go and have we are going into the second sell zone, which is sell orders. So they might be collecting some sell orders here. Let's go to the 5-minute. Oh, there we go. Look. We could be possibly going to the purple line and beyond. We might even be going to this area here. It'll do what it wants. Doesn't care that you want to trade. And got some more sell orders up there, long-term ones. So, but right now we are milling around the psychological level also of 103, where long-term traders and investors like to put trades in, take trades out, that sort of thing. So we could be milling around here before maybe having a bit of a retrace, going back down to take out these imbalances here, or not. We don't know, but we're ready, waiting, just in case. We got our support and resistance lines here. We might be going to revisit that area there before turning around, or maybe even, well, the possibilities are endless. You don't need me to point it out to you. Sure you get the picture. So this is where we are. We're on the dollar, which has been very high. This is the dollar. As you can see, the dollar is now falling. I'm going to put it on the daily a minute, just to show you guys. This is the dollar, DXY, the dollar index. And this determines what happens with the EUR USD. there indeed is the highest price it's been. Well, we'll put it on the monthly actually. This is the monthly time frame, and as you can see, we are at the highest it's been since November 22. And funny enough, look, all this is in balance. This was in balance, but it was mitigated by that wick there, even on the monthly. Look, see, all that area there was in balance on that candle there, but they sorted out the imbalance, made that all, make it all balanced by that wick there. Look at that, more or less. I hope you don't think I'll make this lot up, but there we go. See, so that's all been mitigated now. But obviously they've caused imbalance here now. So this is where we are with that. Go back on the daily, on the dollar. You can see indecision there, and indecision here as well, because we've got a wick below and a wick above, but it's indecision on the side, possibly going down to these areas down here. And indeed, sometimes red flag news could be strong enough to go and mitigate that all in this afternoon. I wouldn't be that shocked if that happened, just to redress that balance. Probably won't go that far, but it's capable of doing that. It has done that in the past. So we go down to the 4 hourly, and more or less going sideways at the moment because we was in the Asian session. Now we're down on the hourly. And we possibly could be coming down to these areas down here, which means the EUR will be rising. Could be rising. There will be obviously small amounts of back on the EUR again. There will be small amounts of retrace, which is what we're after, essentially. But I think the bigger picture is the dollar wants to get a bit weak. He's going to get a bit weaker now. And if the dollar gets weaker, the EUR will get stronger. So we could see this situation of it climbing, but there will be times when we have a retrace. So for us as traders, although we don't need, I encourage you not to feel frustration. Indeed, it could be a bit frustrating because the dollar's the highest it's been for the last couple of years. I pointed out that imbalance to redress from the dollar's point of view, which means the EUR needs to go up a bit. But let's have a look at the EUR on the 15-minute time frame. See this area here, a lot of bunching up, but there's no immediate imbalances that need to be redressed. On the 15-minute time frame, big indecision. So maybe we could be due a retrace, which means we may get a sell trade. But when? Oh, we have to wait for these to go red, red, red. And a big sell alert. Oh, and just as I said that, the dollar's got even weaker. Going up to this support and resistance line here. I said that might happen earlier on. But we're in sell zone territory. We know that. So I'll get rid of these lines. We are indeed waiting for the next sell. And this is the scenario I'm waiting for. But the volume for a buy is fairly strong. And because of that imbalance I showed you on the DXY, I wouldn't be surprised if we go even higher. It could very well happen. Maybe even up to this support and resistance line. But we may get a small retrace off this. Hopefully enough to get our 2% on a sell. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, well, we let trades come to us. We don't force trades. So at this juncture, I'm going to throw open the chat in case anybody wants to have any thing they want me to explain, or any questions or any observations or anything like that. Text them in the chat and see if I can answer them for you. A dull, miserable day down here in Cornwall. We had quite a nice day yesterday. No snow. We had snow up on the higher ground a couple of days ago. So quick, write a question in for us. Otherwise, you are at danger of listening to a name chat by myself. I'll try to keep it. I'll try not to do that. Right, so again, this is the scenario. I like to see what it's looking like on the 5 minute, and there's that sell zone. But it's a rather strong upward volume. Another thing I like to do, I'm just doing this just for me. I go from the lowest point to the highest point and point out areas like the 50% line, 61.8, 71.2, So that's going to remain the highest point there. We could very well see price getting down to these levels down here. Could do, but it might stall at that area there if this remains the highest point. Obviously, if we get another higher point, then I'll. So this area here, if I was in the trade where the 50% line is, I might consider putting my stop loss to entry because I'm always after protecting my equity when I'm in a trade. But as you saw yesterday morning, although I made a profit, 0.4%, if I'd have kept my stop loss where I was, I would eventually have got my 2%. And some traders will do that, and some traders will, like me, and be more conservative. But you don't get broke by taking a profit. Could be going up to revisit that line again. I'm on the 5 minute time frame. Can't see any imbalances here at all. Not until, oh, even up here. So let's look at the could get a better picture on the hourly. On the hourly chart now. And let's just high point there to the lowest point there. That's interesting. There is 61.8, which is a important area. So that indeed might be the highest that I pointed out just now. That indeed might be the highest point before we have a turnaround. But if we don't, we could be getting up to these areas up here. Yeah, it could be going even higher. Anne's got several inches of snow in Inverness. That's what Scotland, Anne. It's a given, isn't it? Surprised they're not making igloos up there. Chris, can you go over how to mark up the areas of support and resistance on higher time frames? How high do you go on the 1 hour, 4 hour, 1 week, etc.? On the support and resistance, I only go up to the 4 hourly and I do the hourly. That's it. We'll do it again then, because it looks like we've got plenty of time anyway. So, take the indicator off. Go up to the 4 hourly. I don't go any higher than that because we're on a minute time frame. If I was an intraday trader, I would be doing it on the daily also. But seeing as we are scalping, that's what we're called, scalpers, and we're only on the minute, we know we don't need to go any higher than the 4 hourly. So again, put it on the hit that button there on the line chart. And where you've got two or more points, Like we've got a point down there, look, and a point, and there's been resistance there. So that is obviously a very important area. And that's where we put the line, and that's where we are right now. So that's on the 4 hourly. Two or more points. Two or more points, Chris, really. That's what you're looking for. No good doing one, but there's two or more. The more points, the better, actually, because that means it's even more important. But then we come down to the hourly. And here's this area on the hourly. As you can see, it's been support there, resistance there. This area here is kind of important as well, but I don't bother putting that up because it's quite away from price. It's 3015. So that area there is an important area. So we could put that in. Because it's been support there, but resistance there. 1, 2, 3 times. So that's a fairly important area. And it just coincides it's with the key zone area that was pointed out earlier on as well. So we'll tidy it up. Any weak thing with 3 zeros at the end of it. There we go. So that's how important that line is, looks, because it's been respected several times along here. So that's a very important area of interest. But now, because we've gone past this, we could be getting up to these areas here. Because it's been support there, look, and yet resistance there. So there's that may be an old line. Just trying to work out because there's no information because the EUR has been the lowest it's been for a long time. So we haven't. I'm trying to work out where that line comes from. So put it on the daily. No, I'll just leave that line there because obviously that was an important line at some stage. Right, if I go back to the 5 minute. Great question, Chris. Thank you. So here we are, guys. Whatever you do, do not trade around the 1:30 time zone because all hell could break loose because of the red flag news. And in view of that, let's go and investigate that a bit more. Right, so hang on, Thursday, Friday. All right, 9 o'clock, we got some Italian. Is that the Italian flag? That shouldn't do too much to us, I would have thought. But 1:30, we got Canadian news, employment change. Employment rate, unemployment rate, that's big news for the the Americans. But this is the big news. And previous and consensus, there's a big difference there. So price could shift quite a way. Nice, handy to look at, to understand it a bit, but don't trade it, because within like 5 seconds, price could go south or north. And because of that, you get what's called slippage, which means your stop loss, which is an order, isn't recognized. So it'll go on to the next time when it isn't recognized, and that could be like 100 pips away, and it could blow your account. It's happened to many of my previous colleagues. So don't let it happen to you. Just don't do it. So we will stay on for, hopefully we might get a bit of a retrace. Put my indicators back on again. Make this a bit bigger. Oh, by the way, yeah, always try and make your chart as much so you understand it as much as possible. Make it as big as possible, but not so big that you can't see the previous information. So ever since like 7:30 this morning, we've been, well, ever since there really, 7 o'clock, they've been determined to gain a bit more strength on the euro. Euro's pretty poor at the moment. So they're taking this opportunity to gain a bit more strength. But hopefully we'll get a little bit of a retrace. But maybe not within our time together. It is what it is. So while we're looking at that, I think we'll play this.
Hi, this is Steve with a very short video to show you where to get the training for the indicators and tools we use inside Academy 55. So once you're logged into the members area, you'll see in the premium dashboard this section that's entitled Start Learning. And if you click here, that'll take you through to the learning library. Now, we'll say at this point, we highly recommend you watch each of these videos 2 or 3 times to get a full understanding of how everything works. Here you'll find tutorials on using the MT4 Trade Assistant and how to use the MT4 platform with the Trade Assistant. This is the longest video you'll find inside the platform. It's around 30 minutes long, well worth your time. Watch the video once, then maybe write a few questions down that you might have for yourself, and watch the video for a second time, and things will really start to make sense.
Right, sorry, Steve. Things could be happening. So, sorry to cut you off there. But we could be on the cusp of a sell. We're here lying in wait just in case. There we go, there's a sell alert. Want price to get down to there. If it does. Gotta wait for 1 or 2 things to turn red yet. and that will obviously elongate the distance between stop loss and entry, but it is what it is. I want confirmation. This is where I want my stop loss to be there. Just the wave has just started to turn red, but yeah, see how far we go down. The trend line is not pointing at 3 o'clock even really, but that could change, one volume push. It's not, yeah, see. There we go. Try again. See, all the time, price might be coming up to mitigate these imbalances. I don't mind this milling around a bit because that gives the trend line a chance to go more horizontal. And it makes for a more steadier a line down, maybe. I'll try again. That's where I want my stop loss. Got a red volume, red wave. I'm going to give it a bit more because I'm only at 3 pips at the moment. Maybe get below this area here. Before getting in. Very close to it. All right, 3.5 pips stop loss. If we go any lower, I'm in because of that low point there. We're on that low point now. Right, I'm in. Anticipating the red trend line again. But I'm 4.1 pips away. I'm underneath the purple line. So if price ever does get near here, I'm going to be putting my stop loss to my entry. But hopefully we'll have a volume down, a retrace. Looking at the 5-minute time frame, we've got imbalance here that needs to be filled. And hopefully imbalance down here that needs to be filled as well. So hopefully within this section of time, they'll be doing just that. But like I say, right now where we are is we're at that key zone area again. So this is the area where they take trades out, put trades in. So it's all a bit, there's a lot of information on where they are right now. But like I say, we're traders. We've got as much information, and indeed the trend line has turned red now. So I might take a 1% loss or a 2% gain. But the probabilities, we waited for the best probabilities. And this is where we are. So 4.1. That brings that down to there. 4.1. So that's where I am. 2% is down there. So that's where I am at the minute. As you can see, we've been respecting that support and resistance line. Now the fear is it might bounce and break to go to the upside again. But are they going to be, put it on the 5 minute, are they, like I said, are they going to be looking into these imbalances here? Or hopefully for our sake, the imbalances down there, because they know there's some buy orders down here. Will they do that? Do they intend to do that? Well, we put a 1% trade on in anticipation of that indeed might happen. Well, we'll have to wait and see. Well, I'll have to wait and see. Sorry, not me. So this is where we are. And frustratingly, we're running out of time. We've only got about 3 or 4 minutes to go because I've been on for an hour and 5 minutes. Can't afford my wages after that. So if you've got any final questions, now's the time to text them. If not, what you could do is take a screenshot of where I am at and see whether I win or lose. What does the bubble say? Oh, still the same information as of an hour ago. So take a screenshot of that if you want to, or mark it up on your own TradingView chart. Because I'm gone in another 2 minutes. And like I say, we either accept a 1% loss, no big deal if that's what happens. But again, on the 5-minute time frame, price went into the sell zone area. So at this crucial juncture, that's where we must leave it, guys, because it's getting to 9 o'clock. I mean, this effectively may obviously go and take me out for 1% loss was no big deal, or we could see sideways movement, or we could come down to this area. And me personally, if we do get down to this area, I'll be putting my stop loss to my entry. But we're at 9 o'clock now, and I could effectively be here another long time waiting for this to go to its conclusion. And like I say, I've been on an hour and 5 minutes now. So at this juncture, take a screenshot if you need to, or mark it up for yourself. And I'll be sharing the results within my journal anyway later on. With that being said, guys, have yourself a great weekend, and we'll see you all next week. So have a great day. Cheers for now. Bye. Okay, Academy 55. It's Friday, the 10th of January. David Kahn here at 24 minutes past 3 in the afternoon here in the UK on the US 100, also known as the NAS 100, and looking to capitalize on this buy alert. We're waiting for the big red flag news that happened, waiting for an opportunity for the price to go into a buy zone on the 5 minute. The buy zone disappeared, but I knew it was a buy zone, so the next one up would be a buy, and this is where we are. You can see it's going up nicely. Just make it a little bit bigger. Now, I think I'm going to put my stop loss to my entry. And as you can see, we've only got a little bit more ready to go, and 2% is mine. Thank you very much for watching, and speak to you soon. Cheers and bye.